Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making a jumbo twisted boutique bow and I'm going to be sewing it, and it's going to have a tail at the front like the old Jojo style bows. I haven't made one of these for years and I got an order in for one and I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited, because like about 5 years ago these were all I was making. Everyone wanted the Jojo style bows. And yeah, so today is going to be bringing back some memories, and I thought I will make a tutorial while I'm here because I don't actually think I've done one with the sewn method. So these are the ribbons I'm using. I've got this lovely sort of gradient rainbow ribbon and it's double-sided print, and I've got a matching 1 centimetre wide, mainly to wrap the clip, which is optional. You don't have to wrap your clips, that is just something that I like to do. I will link everything that I use in this tutorial in the description below this video. So if you press on the title, it will bring up the description with everything linked in there, so you can check out everything that I use. So to make the jumbo twisted boutique bow, you will need some ribbon in 1 centimetre wide to wrap your clip, which is optional. You don't have to wrap your clip. This clip is 7.5 centimetres long or 3 inches long, because this is obviously a bigger bow, so you will need a bigger clip. I'll just set those aside. You will need a lighter to heat seal the ends of your ribbon. I've got a needle here threaded with some extra strong thread, and I've already popped a knot in the end. And then I've got a few fabric clips, or you can use hair clips just to hold your bow in place as you're working with it. Because the bow is so big, it's quite awkward just to sort of keep pinning it. I just prefer to use clips personally. So this ribbon here, again, it is 3 inch wide or 7.5 centimetres wide, and this is cut to 108 centimetres in length or 42.5 inches in length, and that is one continuous piece of ribbon. Next I'm going to take a lighter and I'm just going to run it along both of the raw ends just to prevent any fraying. We will cut the tail end at the end, but this is just to prevent it from fraying whilst we're working on the ribbon, because you can easily catch this and it will just unravel completely. So yeah, just do this just to protect the ribbon and prevent it from unraveling. So now we've heat sealed the ends. Next we're going to mark in from one end 8 centimetres. So taking my tape measure, 8 centimetres or just over 3 inches from one end. I'm just going to grab my needle and I'm going to pop it in there at the 8 centimetre mark. So this is going to form the tail at the front of the bow. And next we're going to fold this in half to find the centre, but we're not going to fold it completely in half. We're going to fold it up to the pin that we've just put in there. And then this will find the center. So once you've got that center, again, you can use a little bit of heat from your lighter and that will just help mark a good crease in there. Just move my tape measure. It's hard to get it all on camera. So we've folded it in half up to the mark. We've marked the center, and now I'm going to lay this down diagonally. So this end that we've popped the pin in is down toward the left. I'm going to lay it on my desk diagonally up toward the right. I'm going to bring it this way so you can see where the center mark is. And then next we're going to take this side which we've got pinned and we're going to curl this around. So keeping this side facing up towards you, I've grabbed the end with the pin. I'm so sorry I can't get it all on camera, but hopefully that it will make sense. So I've brought this piece round. Move these clips out of the way as well so I've got more room. So I've brought this end round now, so it goes round and make like this pocket, and we're going to lay this piece underneath that center crease that we've made, and we're going to line this pin up with this bottom edge. and you want the crease to be central to this piece of ribbon. Now, as this is a wide ribbon, usually I do it by eye. I'm going to check that it is central, because you really want to get this as even as you can for the best outcome of your bow. So I've made sure that this crease is at 1.5 inches halfway, and that this is going straight down level, so it's not wonky, it's coming straight down. And then I'm going to grab a clip, I'll put a couple of clips on there actually, just to hold that in place whilst we're working on our bow. If you've got a fabric glue, you could pop some of that on there at this point, but I'm happy just to use these clips. So this is what we've got so far. I hope it makes sense so far from what you can see on the camera. As I said, it's really difficult to get it all in because it's so big. Now we're going to take this other end and we're going to bring this round. So this one, I brought it round the top. This one, we're going to bring it round the bottom. So bringing this round the bottom way, and this time we're going to line this raw edge up with the edge of this ribbon, because this is going to form the tail. So this time we're just lining this raw edge up with this top edge, and it's all in line with this piece of ribbon here as well. And then once you're happy that you've got that lined up, I'm just going to take that clip and clip over all of those pieces. The same with the bottom. Clip all of those pieces together, making sure I've got them all in. I'm also going to pop another couple on these corners as well, just to make sure it's all nice and tight and held in place. So we've got like this figure of 8 now, or like an infinity sign. Now we're going to fold this in half upwards. I know we've got the clips on there, that makes it a little bit awkward, but that is so we can mark the center of these loops. So I'm just pushing these down, finding the center of these loops. So just bring it down a little bit more so you can see at the top. Again, I'm going to use a little bit of heat from my lighter to mark a crease in there. And I'm also going to give this a pinch and try and get a little bit of a crease in here as well, so I can see the center. This will help when it comes to lining it all up. And I'm going to open it back up again. So now you can see the crease here and on these loops. And now we're going to bring these loops in toward the middle. So I'm going to do this left side first. I'm going to bring it in and lay it in the middle. And I'm just going to slide it out to meet this where these meet. So where these two just overlap, I've slid this out so it's in line with the outer edge. I'm going to do the same with this side, so I'm bringing it in, lining this crease up with this center crease and lining this edge up close to the edge where these two overlap. So this is what we've got now. And then if I flip this over, this is going to be the front of the bow, and this piece here is going to be the tail at the front. Now we're ready to sew in our pinch down this crease here in the middle. So I've got my needle and my strong thread, and we are going to do, just making sure they're in line at the back still, we are going to do 6 stitches across this middle. So imagine with your eye you can see where the center is. So this is the center of the bow, so you'll be doing 3 on this side evenly spaced and 3 stitches on this side evenly spaced. So I'm just going to grab this really tight with my thumb and finger so I can remove that first clip, and I'm going to go in through this first corner, through the top toward the bottom for my first stitch, all the way through to the knot. And then with this being the center, the second stitch need to be in the middle here, so I'm going to come up I'm still using this crease that I can just see that I made across the center as a guide. So that's our second stitch, our third stitch. I'm evenly spacing these out, so these are around almost 2 centimeters apart, I would say. You can do more stitches, but I just like the look of 3. I personally just think it looks a lot better with the 6 stitches. So we've done 3 stitches this side. Now we're going to mirror them on the other half. So this is the middle. So now we're doing 1, 2, 3. So coming back up through the bottom for our 4th stitch. Again, using that crease as a guide for our stitching. So out there for our 5th stitch. And then our 6th and final stitch is going to be coming up through that last corner where they overlap. So I'm just removing that clip so I can get that in place. So now we've got all of these stitches in there, we can remove the other 2 clips. This is so fiddly to work with, this large ribbon, but yeah, that just makes such a massive bow. You'd have thought that the bigger the bow, the easier it would be, but it really isn't. So this is the front of the bow, what the stitches look like. This is the underside. Just pull that one tight, like that. And now we're going to pull that pinch in to the ribbon. So pulling on the thread. This is why I like to use a strong thread, because you can really pull on that and not risk that thread breaking and losing all of your hard work. I will link the strong thread in the bottom under the video in the description. So I've pulled this tight now. I'm going to wrap this around that center a few times, making sure I'm still getting it in line. So we're in the middle. And then on the underside, I'm going to pop the needle in that last edge, just catching a little bit of the ribbon. This is just to seal it off and hold it all in place. Then on the second go in, before I pull it completely tight, I'm going to go through this loose loop here a couple of times, and that will just form a knot to hold everything in place. And then you can trim off the rest of that thread, set that aside. You will need to fluff up your bow when we turn it over. It will look a little bit misshapen, as you can see, so just fluff it all out, and then you will see that twisted boutique shape starting to take place. And now we need to cut in our tail. So I like my tail, the long end, to be on the outside and then coming in shorter toward the middle. So what I'm going to do is grab hold of that corner, and I'm going to cut this diagonally and slightly rounded toward that outer corner. And then again, heat seal that raw edge, making sure the rest of the ribbon is out of the way, because you don't want to burn your bow. So I'm running it along the blue part of the frame just to heat seal that edge. And now we can add our clip, and I am also going to bling this up with some lovely rhinestones. So I've got my warmed up hot glue gun here and my 1 centimetre wide ribbon and my clip. I'm going to heat seal this raw end, and I'm going to half line this clip. So I'm just going to pop some glue around sort of 1.5 inches along that first edge of the ribbon, starting on the underside of the clip, pushing it into the clip part, and then I'm going to come over the top of the clip and then I'm going to trim this off the length of the clip, so about there, and again heat seal that raw edge. So yeah, we've got a half line clip, and I'm leaving this piece to dangle for now. I'm going to attach this to the underside of my bow. And now we're ready to wrap the centre. So I've got another piece of 3-inch wide ribbon here. You can use like a 1.5-inch wide ribbon to wrap the centre of this, but I'm just taking my 3-inch wide ribbon and I've cut a piece to 9 centimetres or around 3.5 inches in length. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the sides in like a tri-fold. And I'm just going to use a bit of heat from my lighter to heat seal the end and also melt those fibres and hold the ends together. So as the fibres melt and then they re-cool down, they will bond together. Same with the other end, so making sure it's folded evenly, heat seal and bond the other end. So we've got a nice, just under 1 inch, I would say, wide centre strip. These do work with a wide centre strip because it's such a big bow. So now we're ready to wrap the centre, so I'm going to pop some glue just in that end, just to make sure that holds in place. And then along that end, and I'm going to open up the clip and pop it under the clip, central to the hair bow, and then I'm going to start bringing it around the middle of the bow. I don't want to pull it too tight because I don't want to lose the shape of the bow. So about like that, and I will need to trim some of this off. It's a little bit too long. So I'm going to trim off a little bit off that end and reheat seal those ends, being careful not to burn the actual bow itself. And then again, you can pop a little bit of glue just under there to hold it in place, and then across that end to finish sticking it down under that clip. Now I can stick down this last tail end, and that will cover up all of that centre. So adding the glue to that last strip, opening up the clip and tucking it all the way along the underside of that clip. And that just hides some of that work and just keeps it looking nice and neat. Let's get rid of any glue that goes on the clip. So that is what it looks like on the underside now. And this is the top of the bow. That is the main part of the bow now complete. So as you can see, I've started using my hotfix rhinestone tool to add some rhinestones to the bow. I'll quickly show you how I do it in this video, but if you want a more detailed video, I will pop a link in the corner here now. So I've got my tray of gems, I've attached the correct head. You give your tray a little shake to separate the gems, because you don't want to pick one up that is too close to all the others, because otherwise they'll all stick around the tip of the hotfix tool. So touching the gem to pick it up, and then as you can see, the glue is matte to begin with, if I can get that to focus. So the glue on the end here is matte. You will slowly start to see it turn shiny. That means the glue on the gem is starting to melt with the heat. And then once it's shiny enough, you can then quickly touch that onto your bow. So using my protected finger underneath where I want to place the gem, quickly touch it onto the bow. Don't hold it on there for too long, because if you do, you will risk burning your ribbon, and you don't want to do that. And there it is on there. You leave that to cool now. When that cools down, that glue, that will be on there really well. So I'm going to continue now working my way around all 4 loops, evenly spacing out my gems, and then I will show you the finished product. And there is the finished jumbo twisted boutique bow with those added rhinestones. And as you can see, this was an order, so I've popped it onto one of my bow cards, and she wanted one of these little tux bows as well. This is also made with the 3-inch wide ribbon. I've also got a tutorial for these bows as well. I did these the other day. I will pop a link to this tutorial in the corner here also. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you press the bell button, that will turn on notifications, and I'll be back again soon with another video. Bye!